you've got yourself a small or mid-capacity motorcycle. Maybe it's your first bike, maybe you bought it for commuting and just having a bit of fun. But what if you want to go on tour? Well, we can turn a bike like this into a touring machine pretty easily with a few options. Let's go and have a look. So I'm back. I've set this motorcycle up for touring. Now the Versys accepts the Kawasaki genuine panniers, which we've got here, which is really convenient when you want to go touring. So these panniers basically go straight on the bike. There is a fitting kit, but it's pretty minor. So when you take the panniers off the bike, it still looks almost exactly standard. There's no big ugly frames or anything there. So that's really convenient. Also on the back here, I've got a seat bag. Seat bags are wonderful. This one this is one Nelson Rig, and it's actually the smallest one they make. So you can get much bigger ones. But the idea with this is that straps go underneath or onto whatever you can strap it onto, and then you clip the bag on with these clips, and then it can come off the bike while leaving those straps in place for if you're just off the bike for a little while, or even overnight. They'll be fine on the bike overnight. And you can load this up. Now all these bags usually have an expansion, so you can make them a little bit bigger, and very convenient for just strapping stuff onto the bike. Now that takes care of luggage generally, but there is also available tank bags, and tank bags can be really convenient. If there's one specific for your bike, or an aftermarket maker is making one that works, they can be really good. Generic ones, less so these days. You've got to be careful they don't get in the way of the handlebars. Depending on how you lean forward, you might be leaning into it. So they're not as popular as they once were. However, if you can find a small one to carry your essentials and possibly even things like your phone and your GPS unit, that can be a really convenient way if you don't have a way of wiring them up to your bike and mounting them on the handlebars, as I've done. So up here I've got my phone mounted on the bike on a proper mount, and so that can come off really easily, but won't come off unless I actually go to the trouble of doing so. On the other side here I've got a TomTom Rider 550, and this goes from this bike to other bikes as well. So I power this off the genuine Kawasaki power outlet that I've had installed. Then I've just got a plug that converts it into two USB ports, and one of those USB ports is going to the TomTom, the other one's going to the telephone. So that gives me all that electronics I want. Now just keep in mind, if you are a learner in Australia or a probationary rider, you're not allowed to use things like telephones. Check local authorities and check the rules that relate to you. Most places you are allowed to use a GPS, you're not allowed to use a phone while you're riding. Now, other things I've done to this bike to make it better for touring, I've got the genuine Kawasaki heated hand grips. So that just keeps you warm, keeps the chill away from the hands. Nice, convenient thing. Some other options you've got to make your bike better suited to touring. You can put a taller screen on. You can fit highway pegs to some bikes. There's a whole bunch of things you can do to make them more comfortable. I would recommend heated clothing if you're going to go and go touring in the winter. I've got a heated jacket liner that replaces the jacket lining in my normal jackets, and runs off the bike and keeps me nice and warm. Now, some other luggage options include a Ventura bag. Ventura makes a huge range of luggage items for motorcycles, and they're generally designed to sit on the back seat here. You buy a fitting kit for your bike, then you choose what type of rack you want, and then you choose the type of bag that goes with that rack and fits. But you can get quite a bit of luggage, as you can imagine, in one of these. They usually sit on the back seat. They can also be set up to sit behind the passenger if you want to carry a passenger and luggage as well. So Ventura is very much worth a look. The other thing that I think every touring rider should use is a hydration pack. So this is a Krager backpack. It's an R15. It's a fairly small backpack, but it takes a hydration pack, and that hydration pack gives you up to a couple of litres of fluid. Just use water. You can use stuff with electrolytes in it if you like, but water's the main thing. And then if you're always carrying water, if you stop to take pictures or you get delayed or someone breaks down, you've got fluid with you, you've got hydration, really critical, especially in the warmer months in Australia. Don't carry a lot of weight on your back. It makes life really uncomfortable. Try to get the weight on the bike, but if you take the lining out of your jacket because it's getting warm, or you want a second pair of gloves, things like that, absolutely fine to put them in your backpack. Just a couple of other things I want to show off today, just about there. So in here, I've got earplugs. Now these are just the foam earplugs. If you buy a bulk lot from a safety supply shop, they're just so inconsequential in cost, and yet they will save you hearing. They will reduce fatigue. They will prevent headaches from travel, from the wind noise that you get on just about every motorcycle. Really, really good thing. If you want to go a step up and you want to listen to your tunes or podcasts and things like that, I've got a set here of plug phones. So these have an earplug tip, which is a bit dirty at the moment. There's an earplug tip, and inside that is a tiny little speaker, and that runs back to this controller, and then it's got the standard sort of 3.5mm plug, but I've converted that to an Apple lightning port, so I can plug that into my phone and I can listen to whatever I want to come out of my phone. Everything from traveling directions through to music, podcasts, audio books, that sort of thing. And they block the wind noise as well, so highly recommended and not very expensive. So that just about covers getting ready to go touring. You've got to have your right riding gear, of course, but gives you a bit of an idea of luggage, your luggage options, some electronic options, some convenience features, and definitely worth getting out there, doing some longer trips. Start out with maybe an overnight trip, just do a few hours on the road, book yourself into a motel, and de-stress if you've never done it before. When you've got a bit of experience, you can go camping, you can go longer trips, you can even join the Iron Butt mob and do massive kilometres if that's what you decide you're getting into. But whatever you do, ride safe, have fun, and go out and see the country that you live in, and travel overseas as well. Once we can get back on the road, get overseas and see the world on a motorcycle. There's nothing like it. Thanks for watching Australian Road Rider.